I'm going to hit record because I'm really, really excited about this and I want to be able to share it for moments to come. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Wednesday night leadership call. And I am going to be very honest with you. I have been life stalking Anna Richards for a long time. The only thing that I knew of her is that she is Peter Kelly's best friend, right? And they have like this really cool group of young people doing positive things. But as I'm following this young woman, she is so inspirational, so motivational. It's not just about Isagenix for her. It really is about self-love, about giving, about caring for yourself, and many times about being very vulnerable. And that's something that I can relate to because being good at this business really is opening up your life and opening up your heart and being very vulnerable. So let me introduce you properly. Anna Richards is a 5-star Golden Circle, 3-star executive. She is a multiple 6-figure income earner. If I may say, she has cumulatively earned $500,000, which is amazeballs. How old are you, Anna? 29, 26?
I'm 28, and we actually just hit the
750. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, these guys,
700,000 US earnings this
700,000 US. These guys are 28 years old. I mean, that's pretty amazing. At 28 years old, I was still like hanging out at the bar. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do with my life. So she's pretty spectacular. She has completed 4 IsaBody challenges. She has been awarded Women of Isagenix both in the US and both internationally. She is a huge advocate of the product. I mean, they really do live this lifestyle. And one that I was very, very impressed by was the Heart of Isagenix. And that's a big, big deal. You know, that's you are it. You are the culture, you are the lifestyle, you are really truly living this, you know, Isagenix dream. So some things, just personal things about her. She loves unicorns. She has the biggest heart. They drink a lot of champagne and love to have a good time. She has an incredible, incredible husband who is also doing the business with her. And I'm going to ask you some questions about that, about the relationship building. But she's really just passionate about contribution and living an extraordinary life. And I invited her to be our guest tonight because I think she's just going to rock your socks off tonight. So welcome to our call, and thank you for getting up so early and being with us today.
You're so welcome, Angela. It is honestly the greatest honor because you are such a big deal down here in Australia, and the whole of Australia follows you. And I remember when you were sort of moving through the ranks, Kathy Coover was getting on calls to Australia, the leadership group, saying, "You've got to watch this Angela, what she's doing." And so we all did, and I followed you. So I've life stalked you as well, I promise.
And the feeling is mutual. Thank you. So tell me about your story. How on earth did you get involved in Isagenix?
Yeah, so it's a cool story because it happened via a complete stranger who is a best friend today, Peter Kelly. And I suppose it speaks volumes to just making strangers your best friends, first of all, and really showing up authentically online and offline. So I was popped into this PM. I was a girl who was really into clean eating and fitness. It had not always been that way. And but I'd been into my clean eating and fitness and recognized pretty quickly, I was like, do you know what? For someone who's doing all of the right things, it's pissing me off that I'm ultimately not looking and feeling my best. So I was looking for a cleanse. I was looking for some products or anything that was going to make me feel good. And at the same time, so synchronicity played a massive part. A good friend, a mutual friend, put me in a PM with PK. And she kind of said, oh my gosh, it's an injustice to the universe if you two don't meet. You're posting the same stuff on the same day. You're both go-getters. You guys should meet. And I was like, yeah, cool. Like, I love this stuff. Like, PK, who are you? Or Peter at the time, Peter, who are you? Let's go for coffee. So she was like, definitely. And this whole time, she's probably thinking, oh, yes, amazing. I've got this girl that I can sign up, which is great. So we went for a coffee, and I love vulnerability. And I just kind of was like, what do you do? Are you dating? And I always laugh because on our very first meeting, unbeknownst to everyone, she first mentioned Eric's name. So she was like, there's this guy. And I didn't know. I was like, cool. Like, who's Eric? But yeah, we talked about, and this is the most important thing, she talked about everything else but Isagenix. We talked about love and goals and what we did and boys and just all normal stuff. She was just a normal human being. And I just completely vibed with her. I was like, we should add each other on Facebook, we should really connect. And so we did. And I said, what do you do? And she was almost nonchalant about it. It was like, I do this stuff, but, I'm so excited for you. It was so me focused. And I was like, you are remarkable. I've never met anyone that's so energetic and so fit, and you're amazing. So she added me on Facebook, and I know, Angela, you do this a lot. And I started to follow her, and had this light. She was just positive, and she posted fitness, and she posted herself. And at the time, I have to tell you guys, this is so important, she didn't have a big story.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit. Hi. No, I don't hear you.
She was a true star, but she was earning about Hello? Sorry.
Yeah, it's cutting in and out a little bit.
Sorry, just like go like this and I'll stop and then
okay.
But she didn't have a big story, and I think so many people get stuck maybe in that, like, I don't have a big story yet, so I can't be successful. Peter was just sharing what was authentic and real for her in those moments, and that's what I connected with. So we caught up again. I said, girl, we've got to catch back up. Like, I have to know what you do. And we went for dinner, and she was like, well, I'm part of this nutritional cleansing company. And I was like, shut up. Like, I've been looking for some products, and on the tablecloth that we were in a Chinese restaurant with like paper, she drew this compensation plan. I just say it was like lines and circles. And I was the person that was just like, shut up and take my money. I was like, cool, ultimately it's a money back guarantee. I've got nothing to lose. You say they're natural, which was really big for me. You say they're
Oh, we lost you. Hang on, Anna.
Natural. You're walking, talking. I came home, and you good?
Hang on. Let me just mute one more time. Okay, and then I'll unmute you. Okay, let's try again.
Cool. Okay. So my box came, and Morgan, this is like such a big part of our story, but he was such a skeptic. He was like, you've been scammed. You're an idiot. How could you have done this? Oh my God, you've given your credit card details to a stranger. And I was all like, you also shut up. And this is my health. It was my money, my health, my body. I'm going to do this, and you can just stay out of my way. And he loved me madly. So he was like, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay. But so many people have so many skeptics in their life, and it lets them stop them. And I'm like, don't ever let it stop you. So put the products in my body, and I always say, so that's my life change. I dropped a few kilos that I'd been trying to drop, killing myself in the gym. I toned up. I felt incredible. I had energy for days. Bloating issues went away. My skin improved. I was honestly like a different girl, and you couldn't have shut me up. And I suppose for me, Angela had asked the question previously, when did I switch to the business side in this? My product story and my business story, there's no moment that there was one without the other. When the moment that Peter drew those lines and circles for me, that excited the pants off me. I didn't understand it. I wasn't like, I get it. I'm going to retire from my job. No, I was just like, that's awesome. If I love this and I can share this with a few people and impact their health and get paid for it, how incredible is that? So there was the moment that she drew the compensation plan for me, which was before I was even signed up. So that's another clue. Draw it for every single person. It's up to them what they want to do with it. But for me, I wanted to do a lot with it. So like I said, first 30 days, you couldn't have shut me up. I was like, there's this stuff and I feel great. And oh my
Oh, we don't hear you. Hang on. Not yet.
God, you have to try it.
I hear you.
And I started, okay, to really just take people on that journey, and people are never going to follow you. People didn't follow the Anna Richards, 5-star, retired from a job on day one. They followed the Anna who was just vulnerably going through this cleanse system that kind of was showing up and taking people on that journey. And people don't follow you for, who you are in the end. They want to follow you because you're taking them on that journey. So the business for me happened really organically, but the moment that I earned $80, and it was because I signed Mr. Skeptical up, he was like, honey, your skin looks amazing, you're sleeping amazing, can I have a shake? And I was like, no, you can get your own pack. So we put a president's pack in the system for him as well, and he got it. And this is what happened. I got the email, and it had $80, and I was on a six-figure income in corporate. And $80 blew my mind. And that's I feel like a clue for success as well. My French Bulldog has just joined us.
Tell me why $80 excited you, especially for someone who was making already a six-figure income. What was it about that? Because often people are getting $370 for signing their first two, but they don't fathom growing as far as you did. So when I hear that you got excited over 80, tell me why. What was it?
Okay, so definitely. And that really was the moment that it switched on inside of me. When I got that email, this is a true story. I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm that weirdo. And I opened my email and it said, you have $80 in an account. And I started to scream. I'm an intelligent, I was, in federal politics woman, but I had just earned $80 and I was screaming. And Morgan was like, what's wrong? He thought someone had died or something had happened. And I was like, showed him my phone, and he was like, oh my God, that's...
Oh, you cut out again. Hang on. Let's try again.
Hey, is that why you're screaming? But what it was for me was just, you guys, I was like, oh my gosh, I just helped someone get started on products that are going to change their life. So how beautiful is that? And then I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to lodge a form. I didn't have to harass payroll. I didn't have to call a bank. I had to do nothing. $80 was just put into my account, poof. I woke up and I had money in my account. And that, I was like, I said to Morgan, that was the day I'd earned $80. I was like, I'm going to do this. And true to form, I got home from work that night, and this is about 2 weeks in, and instead of switching on the TV or, cooking dinner together, we set new relationship rules. I was like, honey, you don't understand this yet, but I'm gonna do this. I'm going for this, and you're just gonna have to carry the load for a little bit right now, and that's okay. But I'm gonna sit in my office every night and work on this. And
oh, hang on, I lost you again. Let's hear it now.
This is unbelievable. I can help people. Sorry, we live on the beach, and I don't know if it's the internet, but yeah, so $80 for me was just life-changing. And I think, and it very quickly, and I have to say that excited me that I earned that. So I started to tell other people. I was like, you know what, I started on a President's Pack, and yeah, it's an instead of cost, not an upfront cost, or it's an upfront cost, but I'm going to save money. But I shared it with someone, and I earned $80, and that everyone got excited. And again, I wasn't saying you can quit your job, you can, I was on my way to retire my husband. I wasn't sharing that. I was just like, you could eat this stuff for free. You could feel incredible, and you could eat this stuff for free. How does it get any better? And I think just from my excitement, people were like, shut up and take my money. We all were just really excited, and we started to sort of build this beautiful team that, has grown and grown and grown today. But truly in the beginning.
Oh, I lost you again. Shucks. I'll just stop and ask you a question every time I hear you break up. When you say that,
it was just like, why would it, how?
when you came home and you said, I'm going to go to work, and you sat on your computer, what did you do? Did you get on the phone? Did you call people? Because a lot of times, Anna, you know, people post on Facebook and they think that's it. And then if nobody comments on Facebook, they're like, well, I didn't sign anyone this week. I don't think you did that. I think you were very proactive. How did you find people? Where did you find people? What did you do when you had your sit in the ass chair activity going on?
Yeah, so I love this question because I'm a big sort of personality on Facebook, but I hammer in Australia so hard that forget about that. I'm like, that's just Facebook and social media to me is just like my reality TV show. That's just your reality TV show, but that's not income producing. So way back when it was 100, and still today, or I manage a team now as well.
Breaking up a little.
But 100% income. I don't know if that helps. Maybe.
Nope. Don't worry, bloopers make the best calls ever. No, I don't hear you. Do you want
Husband's yelling at? Can you guys hear me?
Now I can.
No.
It's like cutting in and out.
It was calls. I was on the phone. It's so weird. Hang on, I'm just going to yell at Mark more. Sorry.
Now,
I wish it was perfect.
Now I hear you, but it's like a little funny. It like cuts in and out.
Okay, Morgan thinks it could be my laptop. Maybe he's gonna get it up. Can you get it up? Can you jump in the Zoom, babe, on your laptop? It's in the calendar. We're gonna work it out. And
Yeah.
I'll talk. Yeah. And then just bring the laptop in here. This is why it's great working with a husband. So it was calls. I was on the phone because people can hear my excitement. Everyone was like, okay, Anna, I don't know what you're on. I don't know what you're doing. And I just used ignorance is bliss. In the beginning, I was like, do you know what? I don't know anything. I know I'm not a health professional, but you guys, I'm so excited that, you know, my health has improved. And, you know, I thought of you straight away because, you know, you're so fun and you love to travel and you're adventurous and you're authentic. Like, you know, Morgan and I, or in the beginning, it was me. We're looking to, you know, grow our team. Would you come with me? I would just vision cast. I was earning like $80, $100, $200, $300. I wasn't earning, you know, 10 grand, 15 grand, 8 grand. I didn't have the big.
Oh, you just cut out again. So what were you telling people? You would call up people and you would say, I met this crazy woman, PETA, who's part of this amazing culture. It's a health and wellness company. I just made $80. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I think you would be perfect for this. Was it kind of like along those lines? Because some people are very nervous to pick up the phone and make that initial contact. They're like, I don't know what to say. I feel stupid. Like too much of the head junk keeps them from doing it, you know? Oh, we lost her. Hang on. Let's see. They're going to jump on. There you are. I see you.
I'm so sorry, guys, that this is so bad. I've just sent you the link. Morgan's just going to get on and I'm going to try it on his laptop before I finish this question.
No
So
worries.
sorry.
No, don't worry. Our best calls are some of the ones that things like this, you know, craziness happens.
Good. Okay, I'm getting off.
If they're smart, they'll stay on and listen and learn regardless of what's happening.
All right. Oh, there we go. Are you there, Angela?
There you are.
Hey, okay. Is that better?
I hear you, no problem now.
Okay. Do you know what? It's my laptop. We're getting a new laptop, honey. Okay. So my number one quote in Isagenix is, it just takes 10 seconds of wild courage. And I know that it's scary. And in the beginning, it was scary for me too. But you guys have to understand, for me, I recognize, because of how I felt, if I felt this good, who am I? Like, almost like, how dare I withhold that from friends and family and strangers? And for me, it was like, every day it was like, it just takes 10 seconds of wild courage to hit call, to write up a PM. And I would swear on my life, Morgan filmed it. I should actually find the video. He used to come in the office and film me, because I would be like, okay, I'm going to do it. Okay. And like, I'd stand up and I'd shake around, and then because I'd written out what I want to say. Like, I think you're amazing. You know, this is what I'm doing. Would you, I'm looking to join our team. And then I'd be like, oh, and I'd hit send or return, and I'd like run out of the room. Like, I don't want to see what they say. Like, and then come back, and they were like, Anna, I've been watching what you're doing. I'm so interested. I'd love to learn some more. And, or sometimes they'd say, I've been watching what you're doing. Congratulations, but it's just not for me. But it just took that. It's just understanding that it's scary, but so is everything great in life. And you just have to take that 10 seconds of wild courage. You know what? Really, it's true, because to hit call or to press send, that's the easy part. So just understanding that every day, that's how you're going to feel. I was nervous before this call. Like, every single day, I'm still nervous to pick up the phone. I still get nervous to do three-way calls, but I know, who am I? Like, how dare I withhold the gift of health from anybody? Yeah. So I suppose just reminding myself that every single day, and then saying to someone in the gym if they're tired, or they're like, oh, how do you look like that? Your stomach's always so flat. I'm like, well, I do nutritional cleansing, and I'd love to send you some information. It's just not being scared to just do the do.
Yeah, and how worth it. You're 28 years old, good Lord, and you've earned $700,000. These are figures and numbers that people only dream of. And because you had that courage, because you said, you know what, I can be scared or I can do it, and you chose the doing it. And my God, tell me some ways that your life has improved as a result of this.
In every which way. So a big thing for us is, I suppose, in how we cast the vision is, at 28 and 30, Morgan's 32 years of age, we literally really do have, so we don't stress about bills. And I grew up in a family of domestic abuse, we grew up in state housing. We grew up in churches had to feed us. So I've known poverty. I've known financial stress. I've known my mum had 2 marriage breakdowns from how broke we were. And I had vowed that not on my watch, not in this lifetime would I be, would I follow in those footsteps. And so for me, like I said, at 28 years of age, to live in our dream home on the beach, to literally not have to stress about bills. Like, guys, imagine if you shared this gift with one person, because it's not about you, it's about who you meet, and you could help someone, like, it's not about me. So every day I'm like, this is my story, but I think, imagine that there's one other person in a violent relationship who can't even leave it because they don't have the money or the security. Imagine if I shared the gift of health with them and they got to break free of that. Imagine if someone was hating themselves and cried every time they look in the mirror, but because I got over myself and I went out there and I shared the gift of health, they got to fall back in love with themselves. Like, that is our job. Angela, one of my favorite stories in Isagenix is, I read your daughter had given away $10,000 of yours before. Like, she just was like, I volunteered $10,000. And she got to do that because you have created this lifestyle, because someone shared the gift of health with you. So for us, our life is, I get hot in the face and emotional talking about it. And now, because it's every single thing in our life has been changed. But I have to say, I always reference him because he's just out there. But the best part about it all is that every single day, yes, we have financial freedom. Yes, we have time freedom. We get to travel the world together, but we get to do that in the best health of our lives. And without that, none of the other stuff would matter. So every single day I fall in love with, who I am and my energy. And every single day I, get gains in the gym because of these products. So, And our newest goal is, it's always been to retire my mum, but that's happening. So and imagine if there's someone in your life today, just while you're walking the street, or that one person on your list that you've been too scared to contact, that's like me, that was waiting for someone like Peter to come along and just show up as themselves. That's all she did. She just showed up as who she was. And I so fell in love with that. And then she was like, it's cleansing. And I was like, amazing. Then I could get paid to share it. And I was like, stop it. Like, imagine if there's someone like that on your list that you've been too scared to contact, but they have the life that I was living, stressed, burnt out. We were fighting over money so much. We had all these goals and dreams that we were never going to be able to live. And just because Peter got over her own shit and was like, hey, yeah, look, it's cleansing, it's part of network marketing, it might work for you, it might not, but I bet you any money it will. Because she said those magical words, I get to now live the life of my dreams. So I just think, have that kind of posture. Like, who are you to withhold that from your networks? Who are you to withhold that from strangers? Who are you to withhold that from anybody? And not everybody's going to build a business like we have, sure. But without, like I said, the number one thing on my gratitude list every single day is my health. So yeah, our life is drastically changed.
I love it. And you're so positive and you're so incredibly inspirational. You get me excited. So I want to talk to you about leadership. What do you guys do with your team? How do you inspire them? And let's get some numbers. How big is your team right now? How many do you have in your down?
Yes, we're just about to hit 15,000. So yeah, so numbers wise, Morgan and I have personally enrolled 212 people into the business. Our team is 15,000. And we say we've got so how we manage our team. So I'm very structured. I'm obsessed with scheduling. You've got to be, I think, just to because we still love to have fun. So if we want to have fun, travel the world, run a multiple six-figure business, and we're not done yet. We're like sprinting for 6-star, Isagenix millionaire. We want to max out, like to have those kind of goals, but still have balance. We're obsessed with each other. So, our marriage is number one. And then to manage a team of 15,000, and we still enroll a lot. How I do it is I'm obsessed with scheduling, and we're very hands-on. We are. So we delegate. We've got like A players. We've got a couple, like some beautiful executives that are really as bigger leaders as us. But we have really one team page. And I manage 1 hour every single day. 1 hour goes into my schedule, 4 to 5 o'clock, because that's when I'm not necessarily creative. Like that's just, I've worked it out. I'm just good at monotonous stuff. And how I do it is I just go into the team page and I'm like recognizing people. I'm posting before and afters. I'm commenting. I'm answering questions. I'm putting product information. And to me, that manages that's what works for us. It manages our product users, it manages our voyeurs, people that are just obsessed with the team page, never comment, never post, but are constantly watching and then keeping their auto ship on. And then it manages our business builders. But we also have a page that business and product have never been separate in our personal organization. So our one team page has everything. But Morgan and I love 90-day game plans, and we're in one right now. Angela's going to come on and do a call for us, and then we have a separate page just for that. But that kind of gets shut down if we're not in one, and we encourage everyone to go back in to the Supernovas and talk about business, ask business questions, because we're always going to have product users' backs. We're always going to be making sure there's enough stuff about product in there.
Do you guys run a weekly call with your team, like a big one? And then do you guys have like a leadership call? What exactly are you doing in terms? I like the 4 to 5 because I feel that the Facebook business should not be all day. I like that 1 hour a day. You're on there commenting, great job, way to go, congrats on this, 1 away from free vitamins. I like that. And for me, like my enrolling conversations are better like from 11 to 2 when I am pumped up in the morning time when I'm like, how much time do you spend on those enrolling conversations?
Okay, so my schedule, I should try and get it up. So same. So the mornings for me, it's all about like our business. So I wake up, I'm weird and I love it, but I wake up at 5. So when you were like 9 a.m., I'm like, I've been up for 4 hours. Like I'm ready. But so I train, I have my ISA, it's all me. I do my goals, my gratitudes. I have a real self-love practice. And then really from like 8 a.m. till 11 o'clock, or longer, 12 o'clock, I'm really in my own 3-way calls. I'm in my, prospecting, my following up, my coffee meetings. I love belly to belly. There's magic there. There just is. So it's very heavy enrolling. So in terms of like, and not, hey, how are you? There's such a difference between relationship building and like prospecting. And if I'm talking about prospecting, I'm talking about a tool is sent, a direct follow-up is done, a call is placed where I'm talking specifically about Isagenix, or I'm in a meeting drawing you +2, then +2. So I just do that in the morning because I'm the same as you, Angela. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then from 12 till 3, I sort of really open that up for the team. So, but still it's prospecting, it's income producing. So it's 3-way calls for the team. It's 3-way PMs for the team. It's one of the, we've got a lot of leaders. So we might do our coaching calls because I've
I just lost you.
realized, honestly, magic does happen.
Oh, we're breaking up a little bit.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I got you now.
Cool.
Now
Cool.
I'm cutting in and out.
So magic.
Now I hear you. Now you're okay.
Okay. Cool. So is that okay?
Yeah, now I hear you.
Cool. Okay. So Morgan and I have realized that the magic happens in terms of your leadership, and it doesn't have to be executives. We've got managers who are leaders to us. We make sure that we have at least like 15, 20-minute calls with just them. And I have to say, Angela, since we've started to do that once a week, so like say on a Monday, we've got 12 till 3 o'clock, like back-to-back 20-minute just like check-in with our leadership. And a lot of them are couples. So Morgan and I will sit there. What are your goals for the week? How are you going? How can we help you? And since we've started to do that, the people that were stuck, that's focused on negative a little bit, are enrolling, are changing their tune, are developing as leaders. So that's kind of my midday. And then team management is like the 4 to 5 or 3 to 4. And then I'll generally go for a run. I do like PM cardio, so it's me time again. And then nighttime in Australia, it's really Zoom heavy. So we do like, a lot of teams do a lot of Zoom. So like I'll jump on a Zoom for another team, for one team. I'll do more prospecting for me because that's when everyone's back from work. But a lot of my day is just income producing because we can never stop enrolling. We never want to stop creating executives. We never want to stop that. So, but Facebook is a job for me. And I don't scroll. I really don't. Like, if I do, I'll catch myself and like do something and then stop. But if I'm in the team pages, and people laugh, they're always like, oh, Anna's in the team page again. Because it's like could be 30 minutes. It's just like boom, 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 boom. But people say, gosh, I feel so loved, so heard. I can't believe you're commenting. I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like, we're all in this together. So it's just like 1 hour of power for the team. Yeah. And then the rest is really my own income.
It's very important because I think that the people who are enrolled 4, 6, 8 levels down from you, they don't really get an opportunity to know you. So when you kind of interact, it shows that whole one team spirit that really anybody can come to you for support. Now, when you're doing those manager calls and getting people excited and doing your leadership, are they your personal, or it's just anyone who you think is fabulous who you want to inspire?
It's definitely, so we've got a lot of people that we've recently enrolled who are kind of starting just to come in for the product, but like business. So a lot are, which is awesome, are personally enrolled, but I would say 50% of it as well is just diamonds in our downline who we've got someone 6 or 7 PET who we look at them like our personally enrolled because everyone above them has kind of stopped, but they're some of our biggest leaders. So it's just constantly having a finger on the pulse of your back office tree and seeing movement, running the reports, and and we'll always do a call with anybody. We always say, if you're someone that really wants this and you show up for us, you got to show up for us as well. We're like time for time, energy for energy. We'll do a call with them. So it's definitely not just our personally enrolled. I'd say 50-50.
What do you consider a leader? Who would stand out as a leader to you? Because we have so many people that are like, oh my God, Anna, I want what you have. I want to do what you did. Your hair is amazing. Your body is amazing. Your transformation. But when push comes to shove, they don't do shit. You're like,
yeah.
When are you going to make that happen? So what would you classify as genuine leadership?
Okay, so I say genuine leadership. I've got a quote, an ethos in our team that we live by. And for me, we say our leaders with influence, I'm going to read it out, give when they don't have to, care for others, grow continuously, live authentically, empower others, they manage their hardships, they don't focus on they just get over it and keep going. And they serve, this is the biggest thing, they serve with humility. So, I mean, that's the ethos of our team. If you want to be a leader in the team with influence, and we know them, you can't do this. You have to back that up with action. So really, if you want to simplify that whole thing, it's people that don't do this. They're not like, I want it. I'm going to come to the event and then don't come. It's the people that say they're going to go, they do what they say they're going to do long after the feeling they've set it in is gone. So they come to 3.5 years in, and this just works for us. So, but we still go to an event every single week in our local city. Like, we bring people along. So for us, we say to our team, you know, get to events, get your people to events. So the leaders are the ones in the front row with us. They're the ones that show up even when it's inconvenient on a Zoom call. With no excuses. Because I always say in our team that we've got a ton of parents, and like half the parents use their children, and I say this with all the love in my heart, but they use their children almost as an excuse. Oh, well, you know, Zach had to get a bath. And then the other half use them as a reason. Like, yeah, Zach had to get a bath, but I want to be able to stay at home with him full time. So he's going to get bathed later. I'm going to be on the damn Zoom. And they're leaders to us. Like, not this. It's like,
yeah.
I'm going to show up when it's inconvenient. I'm going to do. I'm going to push through the hardship. We never want to hear negativity. So how we say to our team, and this is where the calls have helped a lot, if they start to get stuck in, right, I haven't enrolled anyone for a couple of weeks. My team are dropping off. My consultants have dropped off. Like, I was so close to director, but like 4 of my consultants have dropped off. We're like, awesome. We're going to stop you there. And we want you to tell us some good things that have happened. And they're like, well, I did, Jackie, who we enrolled 3 weeks ago, has lost like 10 kilos. Andrew, who's been struggling recently, like finally did his first cleanse day. Look, we did create a new consultant. And we're like, so why the hell are you focusing on the negative? Like, focus on the positive, and guess what you're going to attract into your business. And I can fundamentally say that is how Morgan and I have stayed ahead of the game in our country and still shown up and led without being platinum and so on yet, because that's how we run our business. Don't come to us with the negatives. Tell us, don't come to us with the problems, come to us with the solutions, because I'm never going to sit here and go, I haven't enrolled anyone this week. Oh my God, I'm feeling really stressed. Our cycles are going backwards. That's so common. That's a common one we get. We're going to go, okay, but you know what? I went to 3 new events this week. How amazing. I met a phenomenal new girl who's probably going to be a gun. I had a beautiful call with a random vegan. I just constantly am focusing on the positives. There can be a black dot. I don't know if you guys have done the David Wood training, but he draws a black dot and it's like the negative stuff. And then all around it, he writes but love and peace and calm and all the positive, but people just want to focus on the negative. And that's what you're going to attract into your business. If you're focused on how little calls you've done, no one's going to call you. If you're focusing on how little people you've enrolled recently, you're not going to enroll. If you're focusing on people dropping off, more people are going to drop off. But if you stay focused on the good and the great conversations you've had and the stranger that you said hello to and the 1 p.m. you sent that week that took all the courage in the world, that's the joy and the bliss that you're going to keep attracting into your business, and that you will grow your business, I promise.
Yeah. Do you think that getting your people to those events is a great way of getting them to see the big picture? Because
It's how we build our business. If we've got 6 steps, or it's 7 now, how to like steps to success. So when a brand new cleanser comes in, and one of them is like send welcome email, send welcome text, send welcome gift, back office tour, check-in call, rah, rah, rah. And then the last 7, get person to event as fast as possible, a launch party. We do weekly events here in Perth, so we try and bring all of our new people to that. Every person that we've been successfully been able to do that to are our business builders today, hands down.
what do you think it is? Do you think it's just the way that sometimes when you're telling someone your story, they're like, well, yeah, it's happened for you. And maybe, PETA can do it, but I don't know so much me. I feel like when you get to an event, you're like, holy shit, there's a lot of them. They're all doing it. They're all doing really well. She's not the only one. And it kind of brings validity, credibility, truth to what you're saying. But it really shows this in a grand scheme of things. What do you think it is about events?
Well, I think people are going to say, people rarely stay in your business for why they joined. So people are saying yes to you for the products, but in a shitty week or a bad day or an emotional eating spurge, it's not the products that are going to keep them here. It's the people and the community. So for us, we always say people are going to start with you for the products, but they're going to stay with you for the community and the tribe and the culture that we have. So the faster that you can introduce your newbies to our culture and hear the stories, it's exactly what you said, Angela. Hear people's stories, see everyone's hugging, they're happy. Like, that's so rare these days. Like, for someone to walk into a room, people, whether you believe in woo-woo or energy or not, when someone walks into, someone who's having a bit of a rough trot with their health or whatever, they walk into that room, it could be a launch party, it could be a big event, it could be an ICU uni, and they feel the love and they see healthy, happy people, and then they start to hear 1, 2, 3 stories that's like, yeah, holy shit, it's not just them. That is invaluable, and that's the retention of your business. That's how people will stay. They came for the products, but they stay for the culture and the community.
Yeah, those events are so, so, so important. They really are. I mean, I feel that was my big growth. I feel that was my first big initial push to that 3-star is getting people to come. So I wanted to ask you, who do you think were some of the most influential leaders when you came into this? Who were some of the people that you kind of followed, kind of life-stalked, started peeping in on their team calls and their podcasts? And what was it that really inspired you with them?
Okay, so it was initially 3, and then I'll say one more truthfully. So in the beginning, it was like I signed with PK. I just spat everywhere, sorry. But I have to remind you guys, like, she was not, it wasn't for her who she was at the time. It was for the vision that she was casting. So that's kind of how we've always done it now. It's not, she was earning, I remember I asked her, I was a bit cheap, but I was like, well, how much are you earning? Like, oh my gosh. She was like, do you know what? I'm earning $500 a week. And I was like, oh, that is amazing. Like, 500 to me was like, what? So PK definitely in the beginning. I know she has her other like stuff now, so she's not so much ISA in terms of a leader to follow for that specifically. And then another woman in Australia called Jen Patch, who's our #1 income earner. And it wasn't so much for what she did, it was for who she was and just how much integrity she had. That's a really big thing for me. You don't want to follow people necessarily for the hype. You want to follow people for who they are and if your values align. And I mean, she's the #1 income earner. She's like, she sends me her like, because I asked her to, I was like, just break the 4-minute mile for me. Like, show me what's possible. Send me your like weekly checks, like your weekly things. I mean, she sent one, and you guys know it takes hard work just for compliance, like hard work, discipline. It's not normal. But I remember one week she sent me like a $90,000 ISA wallet deposit for the week. And I'm like, what? But again, it's not because of that. It's for who she is. So if I think, okay, if I can show up with love if I can show up with integrity, if I can be compliant 100% of the time, because that's her all over, and still earn, like have the possibility to earn $90,000 in a week, yes.
And I just have to interrupt you and tell you something about Jen and Jono. The reason why I know them is because I got to spend some time with David and Sarah Gilks in Rome and Paris. We won President's Quest, and David shared this story with me about how he emailed this couple 12 times. And anyone who knows David, he's very scientific. He talks about all this shit that nobody wants to hear. And he wrote them pages and pages. And it wasn't until the 12th email that Jen was like, okay, just answer this guy. Just take a look at it. And if it wasn't 12 emails later that David was persistent, David is now a millionaire, and so is Jen, who's earning $90K. I mean, that's crazy. But because he didn't give up, like, that's why I tell everyone, if you don't talk to them, my gosh, somebody else will. You never, ever know. And the persistence that David had not to give up. Most people would have folded and said, the hell with them, you know?
Yeah. No, it's one of my favorite Isagenix stories in terms of, and all that, like, right, I was saying before, like, who are you not to follow out? Like, who are you not to go out there? Look at that. Like, that's a perfect story. Jen and Jono were followed up with 12 times. So, yeah, I really look to them in terms of, and that's just such a key thing. Look for leaders for who they are, not necessarily what they do. Because Jen, same thing. I think Jen was like 4-star when I started, or 3-star. And I was like, there was no millionaires or anything like that. And then I love this only because when I first signed up, I was really I'm a learner. I wanted to learn a lot about, so I was Googling Isagenix, and Lynn Hagedorn kept popping up, this Lynn Hagedorn lady. And so I watched a lot of her videos literally in my first week. She taught me how to draw the money because I was just watching her videos over and over. So I love her. Just again, I thought, I love Susan Fly, but I always say Peter, like, really followed her. She's such a red. But Lynn's such a white, like, love, and that's more my style. And then Angela, I had a private call with Kathy Coover, like, probably 2 years ago, and she's like, there's this woman, her name's Angela Maresca. She's like, she lives in New York. She was in this tiny apartment, and now she has this big house. Like, she was like your biggest fan. She still is. She's like, you got to follow her. Like, and so we went and we followed you. And so we've been following you ever since. So when you reached out, I was like, babe, Angela's PM. So definitely you. And you do, I have to say to your team, look at Angela, because you do such a great job at I call it your reality TV show. Like, your Facebook, your reality TV show is just such a perfect blend of just life, like who you are, kids, funny stories, great quotes, but also, before and afters, but it's just drip fed. It's not it's not Isagenix. It's like, hey, this is my life. This is the life I now get to lead. You take people on that journey. So definitely you as well.
Thank you. I love you so much. So I'm going to ask you one last question. I knew we were going to go over. You stay so positive and stay so committed. And, as we come to understand that this is about consistency, this is about commitment, this is about, you have a bad day, you dust it off and you keep going. A lot of people, maybe somebody returns, maybe somebody's allergic to hard work, maybe somebody's, allergic to our products. How do you stay so positive and so focused and so dedicated to your goals? You have big goals, but if I ask you where you're going tomorrow, 30 days, 3 years from now, you are crystal clear, both of you. And if I ask your husband, he will verify the same thing. How do you stay so positive and so focused and so on track every day for 3.5 years?
Okay. So I've never been really asked this question, but I love it. And it's probably something I need to talk about more. And as you're asking it, I was thinking, Anna, like, how do you? But I want to say it's definitely two-pronged. And I suppose the biggest thing for me is, and this is so relative, like, I'll leap through the computer and get in all of your lounge rooms to, like, slap you around with this truth. But it's the fact from day one, never had I ever heard of this magical thing where you could eat some products that change your life. Like Jim Coover said to me at Peter's wedding, he was like, if people have forgotten how great the products are, do a damn cleanse day. Like he's like, just feel good again. But so for me, it was like never had I ever met anything in my life so magical where I could literally transform my health, talk about that, and get paid on that. So I fell in love with the vehicle of what this is. I was like, nothing is going to deter me because I know the comp plan works. You're a millionaire. Like there's millionaires in this company. The products work. There's hundreds and thousands of transformation. The company's strong. It's won 50 million awards. The corporates, I was like, okay, so all the variables are there. The only variable of success or not is me. So I just looked inward straight away. I was like, okay, so what is it going to take, Anna? What's going to take a 10-year commitment minimum, right? Because I was like, well, I've done a degree that took 3 years. Like all this stuff, I was like, minimum 10-year commitment to anything. Because Morgan he was looking at businesses and stuff as well. So he was like, franchising, it would be a 10-year commitment, everything else. So I was like, I just recognized so quickly that I was the only variable in this that was going to get in my own way of success. I could have and be and do anything I wanted to do and be and have in this company as long as I showed up, as long as I was consistent, as long as I recognized that if I was having a bad day, I probably just hadn't talked to enough people. So that's when, I was already really into self-love and self-care and women empowerment and all of those things. But I have to say, when I started Isagenix, you guys, imagine if you guys have jobs and whatever it is, imagine going into your boss today and being like, I want to raise, and I want $1 million in 10 years. Like, I want to be earning $1 million in 10 years. Like, you got to make that happen.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it. Like, you can't do that. But you could go to Jim and Kathy and say to them, in 10 years, I want to be earning $1 million a year. They'd give you a hug and be like, go for it, run, let's do this. How can we help? Like, I get that. Like, it's unbelievable. So for me, I was like, you know what? Quitting is just not an option to me. I was like, quitting is crazy because why would you quit on your health anyway? Like, people that quit, I'm like, I don't get it because it's not about the money. It's not. It's about your health. So all of these things I recognized, and I was like, okay, every single day I just have to show up. And I promise you, I have bad moments, and that's the difference. I don't have bad days. I'll be like, babe, I feel stuck. This is shit. I haven't signed anyone this week. I still have those thoughts, but it's just I catch them because I coach on this. I catch them, or Morgan will be like, babe. And I'm like, you're right. You know what? This is all the things I said before are true. Like the other day I did that. I was like, oh my God, we haven't enrolled anyone this week. Rah, rah, rah. And it was like, well, hang on a minute. How many conversations, Anna, have you had? How many follow-ups have you done? How many new events have you gone to meet new people? And it was like, not enough, not enough, not enough. So I got off my ass and I went to 2 events. I've gone to a comedy event this week and an open mic night. I contacted people, even though it was uncomfortable, contacted my accountant. I was like, oh my God. But I did the do. So how I stayed positive is just so fundamentally recognizing that it's me. It falls down to me.
Absolutely. And you know what? Crazy stuff still happens. But I think that when you are that dedicated and that consistent, when you're that strong in your vision, it doesn't matter. I spoke to a woman. We had the best conversation. She had a holistic place in Miami. She's like, I will think about it. I will get back to you. The next day, she blocked me on Facebook. And I thought, okay, I got to go talk to 5 more. The older they've been analyzing the conversation, what did I do wrong? Did I offend her? Did I say something? The more experience me is like, okay, she wasn't the one. Let's keep it going. You can't let little things hurt you or break you or prevent you from living the big thing, because overall, look at how many have said no, and look at how big your team has grown. Every no is worth it for those 15,000 people that are here today. Grateful to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every day I say, if you want something really tangible, every time you catch yourself this week or ongoing forever, you start to say, oh, I suck at this, or like I'm never going to have success, or whatever it is, or I haven't enrolled anyone yet, or my consultants are dropping off. It's just self-awareness. Just catch yourself. You know that it's not the right thing to do, and say it or write it down, whatever's the most comfortable. 3 things that have rocked in the past week or month or 6 months for you in the business. So like, well, actually I had a beautiful conversation yesterday with a stranger, and I successfully completed a cleanse day. And it's just constantly, don't focus on the darkness, focus on the lightness. And you're always going to get drawn back into that. That's why I say to Morgan all the time, you know, we're 3.5 years in, and like I said, we're going for platinum. I could sit here all day, every day, like, we're at 5-star, we want to hit platinum, rah, rah, but I don't. I'm like, no, this week, you know, you cannot fathom the kind of income we're in. And that's what I focus on. The conversations, the beautiful team, the health results. And 3.5 years in, I'm still like a shiny unicorn, because I understand that this is what's going to make me successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love you. Thank you so much for doing the call. I'm going to unmute everyone so they can give you a big woo-ha, because you are just amazing. I am so looking forward to doing a call for you, rocking out the last few weeks of your Blitz. I can't wait. I think you really touched all our hearts tonight and inspired all of us. I told you, every phone call where we have the bloopers, those are the best calls ever. So do you guys have any woohoos? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's give her a big shout. Woohoo! Thank you
guys.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Bye. Love you.
Good night, everyone.